take away from the town. You can only do that for so long. No. Sure. Is it? Look here and just go figure it out. So you saw one of those earlier? Not the way it's been. I used to go in the first I mean, it didn't make much.
You didn't play your mind. Oh, you don't. That comes. That's a resolution. This resolution goes with that.
So what is it?
Well, I didn't. Here. I didn't print one because it was this one. Here, and you print one. So then this is goes like that. The last one. And then this one, the last picture of it.
Do something for the employees,
Putting the 72 here.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. The final passage of the budget 2017-2018. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Perry?
Present.
Councilman Acosta? Present. Councilman Figueroa? Present. Councilman Fonseca? Present. Councilman Zay? Councilman Rivera? Present. Councilman Solano?
Present. Thank you. Roll, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consideration of appointment by Mayor Joseph to St. Paul's White Extension Facility for the Minerva campus.
Congratulations, Glenn. Good choice. We recommend
Request legal opinion from the city solicitor.
Sorry, I can't hear.
Mr. Chairman, I'm requesting a legal opinion from the city solicitor regarding the appointment of Mr. Morganis as a city employee, but also as another state that I'm not sure, and I asked the solicitor to review before we take any action on this, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. President, I was asked to do legal research on this potential appointment by the mayor and rendered a legal opinion that appointing Mr. Rogan is appropriate and not in violation of any city's law or regime.
Thank you. Ms. Pat, would you put a motion? Motion to approve. Moved by Councilman Solano, seconded by Speaker. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Chair votes aye. Nays?
All to the question, I believe we're
Thank you. Ayes have it. Congratulations, Madam.
Item 4 is a public hearing, consideration of fiscal year 2023 budget. Public hearing,
Public hearing now open.
Liza Hart.
Good evening. Is that my?
Muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Lisa Ponce y vivo en el 153 de la Pueblo Ave en Santa Cruz. Estoy muy contenta con el cambio que ha hecho el alcalde Diosa en nuestra ciudad. Es increíble todas las cosas que se han logrado en estos últimos años. Sé que está trabajando. Oh, perdón.
Good afternoon. Her name is Lisa Aponte. She lives in
Central Court.
253 Butler Ave. She wanted to start off by saying that she's very grateful for the changes that Mayor Diosa has instituted in her city.
Sé que están trabajando en el presupuesto de la ciudad
She knows that we're working on the city budget.
y les pido al miembro del consejo que aprueben este presupuesto
And she asks for members of the council to approve this budget
para que podamos seguir mejorando nuestra ciudad.
so we can continue to improve our city.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Really hold on.
Mike Lane, Central Falls Firefighters Association. Just want to speak in favor of the proposed budget. I feel that it does a lot of good things to address certain issues regarding the city. First, most important to us is addressing the pension. Again, like the last several years, over 100% funds the pension system. So once that shows the city is serious about not going back to where we were not that long ago. Secondly, in the area of firefighter safety, public safety, in the budget, there's appropriation for a radio system in the city. Right now, our radio system in the city is about 15 years old, has a lot of problems in it, interoperability with other communities. A major issue just this morning, we had a major fire in the city, which required outside resources. Communications are very difficult. People operating on different radio channels and trying to work together, but talking on different frequencies is a problem. So we feel that this is going to be a major step in addressing firefighter safety, which ultimately addresses public safety. So we urge your passage of the budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Marshall. Come on up. Come on up.
I'm all set.
Nelson. To your recital seal.
Good evening, council. A little hot in here. I just wanted to speak again regarding the budget. I know I did a couple meetings ago. I do remain concerned about the sustainability of having the highest equalized taxes of any city or town in Rhode Island, given that we have the most economically challenged population, and say that we're promoting home ownership. I ask of you to consider why we would be raising taxes while we have approximately $5.8 million in reserves. We've added positions to the city government and made some positions full-time, as well as given double-digit pay increases to some employees. If we don't have it, I don't understand why we're spending it. I believe we can all agree that many of the issues that we battle in our community revolve around low home ownership, which approximately stays at about 25-26%. I ask each of you to consider how raising taxes over the past 5 years with $1 million surpluses year over year is going to help us achieve this goal of home ownership raising. How is this sustainable? More and more homeowners have shared that they are frustrated with the high taxes and low services in our community. Much like high unemployment results in a myriad of social problems, so does low home ownership in a community. Even if people can find affordable housing here, they are then strapped with high real estate burden for taxes. They don't even necessarily understand that in the beginning, and they don't even understand how taxes are lowered and raised in a community, especially those people who are new to the country. And how does this help grow businesses? What are the statistics on the longevity of our small business owners? I've seen a lot of businesses come and go, and quite a few have received grant money. And for me, grant money is all of our tax dollars at the federal level, the state level, and the local level. And unfortunately, that's not enough to help them. I know businesses that own their buildings and their businesses in the city, and they have reached out to me to let me know that they are in jeopardy or have in the past lost their buildings to tax liens. So that doesn't help them grow their business. And it certainly doesn't help with the cost of doing business here in the city. What we have is a need for large businesses to come to the city to help bring jobs as well as help alleviate the residential tax burden. Sylvania has stood empty for almost 2 years while other neighbors such as Cumberland and Pawtucket have businesses commit to them. According to Moody's and Standard & Poor's, we still remain in a weak economy. If we are adversely affected by another bankruptcy in the state, or let's say what happened at the Wyatt where we're not going to receive money because the Wyatt is also struggling, those things will have a major impact on the city. After going through the budget, I would hope that you would consider additional cuts rather than further burdening homeowners with increased taxes. According to my calculations, we need approximately $75,000 cut from the budget to remain, to secure no tax increases for this year. Some examples, I noticed under the executive portion of the budget that we spent $25,000 alone in this year for community outreach. I'm not really sure what that line item is. We didn't have it 3 years ago. Also, community health person. We're into the second year for this position, and I haven't seen any report out for this position. How do we know that it's achieving what it was originally set out to do? That's $30,000. Let's see, positions. Oh, I would also say that I don't agree with double-digit increases for pay for positions where people are contractors or people part-time, such as assistant TPW or our HR person. I would say cut them down to 2 or 3% that all people are getting in the city government. And just recently, we added an admin position of $40,000, the executive assistant. This position pays $40,000. And that $40,000 is half of what we need to cut from this budget. We've added over $1 million in labor dollars to the budget from 2013 to 2015, and that excludes benefits. I ask that you consider cutting some of these items so that we have no tax increase for FY18. I thought we were having individual hearings for the different budget ordinances, but since we are not, I'm just going to add that into this conversation if you don't mind. Council President, there was no sign up, so I assumed that there weren't. Are there? I don't know, sorry. City Clerk? Did you want to speak? I didn't know if you were speaking.
Oh, there's a question. Council President, I have one.
Please.
There is public hearing signed up for the FY18 city budget.
Were there, Council President, were there sign-up sheets for the
I
hearing?
don't know what's out
Okay,
there.
so there,
I don't know what's out there.
all right, so as far as I can tell, there were not. I only saw one sign-up sheet, so,
We are doing the same for members present as we did for the first reading of the budget, which is one sign up, one public hearing for all 5 budgets, as we were doing.
okay, that's
You
fine.
can
Yeah.
if you have specific example on each ordinance. go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna read
Go
it
ahead,
for now.
please.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Who is it?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman, I objected the last meeting that budget ordinances or resolutions and each have a public hearing. I objected last meeting when separate public hearing were not included on each of the ordinances and resolutions. I object tonight that the public is not allowed to speak on each ordinance and resolution separately. I believe that's a violation of our rules and regulations and also a violation of our open meetings.
I disagree. Still, go ahead, she can address each ordinance
They ask for legal
as
opinion.
she has.
Mr. Chairman.
You want a legal opinion
Yes,
right now?
on the record.
The format of the agenda and having one hearing of the ordinance simultaneously is formally rule in the city ordinance. The open meeting law.
That's really.
Sorry.
No worries. Okay, so for the budget amendment, I see that the city buildings utilities are now all grouped together. They're in one line item rather than by department. Makes it harder for management of the budget, and it's less transparent to the public of where we're spending the actual dollars. So I don't know, do we spend more in public safety than we do in, say, fire, or do we, it's just a good number, plus it's hard to compare year over year when you group it all together. So those line items have all been compressed into one. So I just asked why we did it that way, and if we can expand them back out, that would be great. So under tax revenue, how do we know that we're gonna have a negative revenue stream? The third line item under tax revenue, it's 147 and change, and it's a negative number. I'm not really sure why that is. Can somebody answer that? So, yeah, just want to get the, okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. If it's revenue, that's being moved, why is this not an expenditure? Is my question about that. And then, how are we accounting for car tax revenue? When we aren't sure what the state house is going to do. So we have it on our budget as revenue, but, go ahead.
This thing, it's not going to be a given state.
No, I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, I'm just going to write down.
That's fine, yeah, this is a
So when you
separate
look up
question.
looking for an answer for this number,
Well,
basically
it's,
a comment, yeah.
that's fine,
I appreciate it.
I'm just asking the question. So
Right,
did you
thank
get that last one about car taxes? Yep. And then the last one, I would like to know, given that if we are somehow designated as a sanctuary city, how that is going to impact the revenue of our budget. That's very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lorraine Savard?
Lorraine Savard, 76 N Street. First of all, I kind of object to this budget process for the following reasons. Number one, it only shows 2017 and 18, it only goes back 1 year. I checked. Lincoln, Cumberland, Kentucky, they go back to 2014. So that, yeah, columns, right across. But here, I don't know how many years it's been that we only go back,
You can grab the microphone if you want.
we only go back 1 year. Can anybody answer that question? How long has this been going on?
This is the 2017-18 budget.
But
Which we go
But
back.
all other cities and towns go back so that I, as a taxpayer, excuse me, can see what's going on, going up, going down, what's changed, and I can't do that. Not that I would have time to do that, but I'm sure city councilors would want to know that, yes.
It can be pointed out that she can ask questions of individuals, I can respond. Now, we requested that we have a historical comparison on the budget. I requested it time and again, and we have not been provided it either through the budget process or through the monthly reports. I believe it's wrong.
You as a city councilor this year, but in prior years, you've also asked for this?
In prior years that I know of when I was involved, and after that, comparison years have always been included. This administration, for some reason, does not provide comparisons or pre-audited or audited amounts that you can compare exactly what you spent, so you can compare to what you're asking for.
Yes, it's important. I think it's important as
I agree.
as a taxpayer. That's the first objection to the process. The second objection to the process is in advertising. I was at Stop and Shop this weekend and I saw a girl that I hadn't seen in a while, and she's from St. Paul's, and she asked me about the budget. And she had been asking her mother, who searches papers, to see when meetings were scheduled. And I told her, I said, there's like 5 already, or 4, or whatever, that has already happened. I didn't know about it. Not that I was booking, but, you know, James Diosa, our mayor, has things posted on Facebook every once in a while. Nothing about budget hearings, I don't know, whatever. So I'm concerned, and I want to know where these were advertised. Where was it advertised? In the newspaper, because supposedly this woman's mother couldn't find it anywhere. I remember way back, 1989, and I was really into things. It was in the newspaper, in the Times, you know, it was advertised there. Is it still advertised there? Question. Nobody can answer. Where is it advertised? Nobody? Who's seen it? Anybody here seen it? No? Well, that's bad. That's very bad. Okay. And then,
The public hearing was advertised in the newspaper, per schedule. It had to be followed the meeting dates of these 2 hearings,
when was that, please?
10 days before the first hearing.
So I believe the first was May 24th?
No, the first hearing was June 5th.
June 5th. So the first hearing. Okay, I will look and tell that girl to have her mother look it up because she couldn't find it. All right. And then, so those are my objections to this process. And I'm sure there are others that I haven't thought of, but I have a couple of questions on the budget itself. I taught for 31 years. I only have 5 minutes and I have a question because I didn't know of the 4 other meetings. Can I have 20 minutes to speak here? No. No. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
All right.
I'm just joking, you know.
Just keep rolling.
All right. After 31 years of teaching, and they've probably increased their salaries, but, you know, I left teaching at $51,000. People working here in the city are making way over that. I should not have taught, but I should have gotten into city government. The people here are being paid A lot of money, a lot of money. And when did that occur? When did that start escalating to, that? Well, you have, when? I don't know. It kind of went up maybe a little bit from one year from 17 to 18, but I want to go back to 14. I want you to tell me these things, not you. But somehow that should be shown to me every time the budget comes up. Thank you for allowing me.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You're always welcome.
I'm always welcome. I hope so.
Thank you.
Michael Boyd.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The people who spoke prior to me,
Mike, into the microphone, please.
Hold the microphone back.
I apologize.
No, that's okay.
The people that spoke prior to me, I think they spoke quite eloquently, and I have to commend them for their questions and the time that they researched their concerns. I'm more of a rough draft kind of guy, so I'm not going to be getting into statistics like that. There's a few things that I heard. There's a sizable surplus that the city has. Okay, I understand that there's this rainy day fund that they want to basically right the ship from the surplus to the rainy day fund. Remember, I'm the rough draft guy. Okay. So I understand that they're probably have these endeavors to raise the bond rating, probably with that manipulation. That's a hypothesis. Okay. Laudable endeavor. And a lot of things that are going on in Central Falls are commendable. Little things, people notice, flower pots on the street, the salsa night, it's all good. I have a problem with it. What I do have a problem with is that, and I mentioned Mr. Council President Bob Perry, there's no contention between us. As he shared with me, it's basically a mere pittance. Basically, it's a trick for every property owner to own for the value of, I'm talking about the property tax they're making an analogy. That's all. You said, there's no harm done here. In any case.
I said, what's the difference between a $10 shirt and a $9.99?
Yeah, but I understand. It's a mere pittance what we're talking about here. But so we'll just agree on this. It's the mere principle. We'll agree on that? Okay. So we're not talking about a lot of money here to get to point where I think everyone will be singing We Are the World, and that is having a totally balanced budget without raising taxes. Well, from what I understand, it's like an $80,000 shortfall. How much is it to, it's a 2.5%, 1.2% increase? What's the number?
We're at 1.2.
All right, 1.2, but that number equates to what, 80,000?
74.
All right, 74,000. I mean, come on, 74,000. You're telling me we can't all come together to say we are the world and have a balanced budget? $74,000, and just for example, and again, laudable endeavor, and I have no problem with it, that salsa nights. I'm assuming salsa nights means it's more than one night. That means plural, right? Okay, well, how about we call it salsa night? Here's an idea, okay? That's a way of trimming things down. I got another idea. Going to the people of Central Falls, these businesses, it's an idea to think about. A lot of towns do it. So I'm not reinventing the wheel here. You ask them to sponsor this program, okay? Sponsor it. If they come up short and you're hell-bent on having it, then we throw them a few grand. We salute them with some detail officers from the police department. We salute them with some public works to help them put the banners up. And maybe a fire detail guy if that's required for correct protocol. And then everybody's happy. And that's just one thing. And I just can't understand why we have to incur the whole cost of this salsa night. That's just one thing. I'm not going to touch on all of them because there's other things. But that's one that sticks out in my head. but I'm not looking to strip anything away, because I think a lot of these little things, the city has gotten better, and I do enjoy looking at them, and I do embrace the overall majority culture that's happened to become of this city. I have the cultural diversity. I have no problem with that. I do have a major concern of repercussions and ramifications from this so-called, I'm not sure if this has actually been, I never validated this myself, but reference to sanctuary status. If that's the case and we have ramifications for that at a federal level, I'll tell you right now, then these people should resign. When this taxpayers of Central Falls end up having to endure a large tax increase because of a federal mandate that we're not complying with, that's a major issue, and everyone here should resign. And I don't want to, I'm not a hater. I love everybody. I hug and shake everybody's hands here. But we all have an individual responsibility to come together and to do things intelligently. And I really wish you'd think about what I said, just touching on that one example, the salsa nights, maybe call it salsa night. Or maybe reach out to the businesses, and I know, and I hate to use this person's example because they're already stretched to the limit, I think, with their generosity. But just for an example, Central Falls Credit Union, otherwise known as Navigant, now known as Navigant, formerly as the Central Falls Credit Union. Maybe they'd help us. Maybe if they are, maybe they give a little bit more. But in the end of the day, I think in the name of raising taxes, put it this way. You said $74,000 a shortfall to match the book balance budget. Okay, so I'm looking at it in reverse. Okay, I'm looking at it like easy one to pick on because it's the only one I really know about. I just read some rough draft about the different line items. But the salsa night, all right, in reverse, I'm going to put it this way. I'm looking at it with contempt, and here's why. That's $30,000 that you're going to put on the backs of the city taxpayers. Yeah, you do. Because if you take $30,000 from $74,000, that's what, $44,000. Right? 44 and 30,000 is 74. Last time I checked that simple math. Okay? So that's a $30,000 you're putting a bearing on the people of Central Falls in the name of having salsa night. Not everybody speaks Spanish, but I do enjoy looking at it, seeing the music and all that stuff. And I just really wish you'd think about raising taxes on people for selfish reasons. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Edna Fuller.
Edna Poulin, 68 Notre Dame Street, Central Falls, Rhode Island. Lifelong resident of the city of Central Falls. I'm going to try not to reiterate what other people have said. I just want to go back and look at the budget surpluses. I read over the weekend, again, the audit we just had, the budget we're talking about. I looked back to 2012 on all the audits, on all the budgets we've had to see where we're going since we went into bankruptcy, which we should have done. We could have worked that out. That's neither here nor there. When I went back and I started looking at what kind of surpluses the city has been having, in 2012, take your pens, just put it down and add it up yourselves. It was $783,836. It was $800,000 surplus. In 2013, it was $869,358 surplus, or 0.87 surplus. 2014, we're up to 1.96, or $2 million surplus in 2014. 2015, it's $1.3 million. 2016, $1.3 million. And if you look at the figures that have been given or try to gain from the finance office, you're looking at somewhere in the vicinity of $1.5 million to a $2 million surplus for the budget year that we're in. So we're looking at right now, in the last 5 years, we've had $6.2 million surplus. If we add in this year, $1 million or $1.2 million, you're looking at $7 to $8 million in surplus. That's a lot of money to put on the backs of the taxpayers of the city of Central Falls. We know we gotta pay our fair share, we know we had problems, and we know we had to get out of it. But when you look at the budget, and you look at the budget, keeps adding salaries, adding programs, adding things into it that are not gonna be sustainable. I also looked at the 5-year projection. If you look at the 5-year projections that they've got going out, you're gonna find there are no budget increases, or very little budget increases. How do you do that when you've already brought yourself? You're gonna rely on that $2 million surplus you have this year to go the next 5 years without budget increases? The other thing I looked at capital reserve. As of 2016, our capital reserve is $4 million. You add it to the other reserves that we had, we're over $5.5 million, which are restricted reserves and that go along with it. Cutting $74,000 out of this budget is kids' play. I've worked with budgets all my life, and I don't know how many of you have, but if you've really done your due diligence, and that's what you're supposed to do, is your due diligence, is to do the best for the city and the taxpayers, and you're all somehow either a taxpayer or own rent a home, do it, do the best for the people that live here in the city. You could realize too, there's no way we need a tax increase. We don't need another $40,000 administrative assistant. We don't need increases of $10,000, and so forth and so on with individuals. Assistants, rec director, assistant public works director. This is 1.3 square miles. You want to talk about other cities and towns. We're 1.3 square miles. We're one of the poorest cities in the state of Rhode Island. There was an article in Sunday's paper which talked about what it cost to rent a two-bedroom apartment, and that was $1,037. Who in this city has that kind of money to be renting at those kind of prices? And any tax increase you give is going to have to go back onto the people who are renting. I mean, where do you think the homeowners, people who have homes where they rent out, are going to be able to stay in their own home? It's going to be on the backs if they're renting. And people who are living in single-family homes like I do, it keeps going up. And a lot of people in the city are really living on fixed income. Social Security is not keeping track. And our people here in the city don't have big pensions, like a lot of people have that may be in Barrington or somewhere else. They're not living on pensions, they're living on Social Security. My mother, when she died, was getting $800 in Social Security. Now that's a while back. But I know people, like $1,000 is not a lot. I mean, they're just about barely making it. And I think we need to look at what do we really need in the city, what can we afford, what can we get from the outside. There are social services, and there's a lot of money in here for social services. There are a number of social services we could call on, the Department of Health, a whole bunch of social services, if you really look at it, who could come into the city and assist. We don't need to be the social service agency for the city. That's not what the city of Central Falls or any city is supposed to do. We're supposed to take care of our police, our fire, our municipal, executive, and that kind of stuff. If we've got some money, that's fine. But I don't know where we're going to keep getting that kind of money. With what we're looking at, like I said, if we're looking at a $2 million surplus this year, that's excessive. And, when someone says a mere pittance, I object to that, Bob, if you said a mere pittance. Or even $1.95 and $2.
Whoa. I'm not going to argue with you. It was a private comment. I never said
Well,
that.
brought up here.
You don't bring up personalities. I can say that.
You're a public figure, and it's allowed to bring up personalities with public figures. You took the oath of office as a city councilman, so I
said
can make a comment.
The difference in the percentage is like the $10 shirt as opposed to the $9.99 shirt.
But that could be the same because someone eating or not eating or having medication.
The word pittance, the word pittance is my analogy. Just
Okay,
just to
okay.
defend- just to defend it for
All
a second.
right.
Thank you, I think you.
I'll accept that.
You owe me an apology.
I will accept that, and I will apologize, but it sounds like something you would say, Bob.
No, I don't say that.
I've known you a long time, but it does sound like something you would say. Because you said those things to me.
I
It was an
accept your
analogy to
apology.
it was an analogy to a shirt.
If you're all done, Andrew, let's move on, please.
The last meeting, you talked about going through line items in the budget. I could do that, and I could come up with more than the $75,000 that could be cut, and not hurt really services here in the city. That's not my design, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing, that's what you guys are supposed to be doing. You're supposed to get this budget down to where it's lean and mean, where it's a budget that we can live by, but it's a budget the citizens of the city of Central Falls can live by. And I don't really think any of you have done your due diligence and have done the job properly. You know, when you have capital reserve of $4 million, and if you really look at the amount of funds we also have in there for reserve set aside that you cannot spend on anything that's reserved, you're talking $5-6 million. You know, I don't know. I mean, you know, increases. I look at the number of people. You know, do we really need that many people to run a city of this size? I don't think so. I have one question. I'm not sure whether it's right or wrong, but under the city council, is that an increase per council member for the year 2019, or is it for the whole council? I mean, I'm not sure whether that's one or the whole council. I assume it's for one.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Well, in the
It's not in-
salaries,
Not in this budget.
no, but it's here listed
It's something.
for 2019. So I'm asking, is that for
I
one?
don't know. I don't know what you're referring to.
Bob, you're the council president, you should know.
We did not put an increase for this city council.
I know you can't, because you're in office. I know you can't do
Correct.
that, you can't do that for
What
the
are
mayor
what
when he's in
figure,
office.
what figure, I'm not here to argue, I don't know what figure you're talking about.
Then,
I'm concerned with this year's budget, Ed.
I am too, but when I see it in this year's budget, and it states it shouldn't be there. And the reason they're putting it in there is so that everyone's aware that next year it will go up. I know why it's there, and I'm not saying I disagree or agree with it. I'm just asking for a
Well, again,
clarification.
I'm not the one to argue.
I don't want to argue,
I don't
Bob, I
know
want
what you're
answers,
saying.
I haven't gotten any answers. That's the problem.
This is a
I object.
public hearing, I understand that, but we're taking down your objection. I don't understand your point.
Bob, we've had public hearings the last
Right.
few weeks.
Right.
I haven't gotten any answers to any of the questions I asked, so I mean, I'm asking them. I don't expect to get any answers. I hate to tell you that. As a citizen and a taxpayer, I should be able to get the answers, you know? But if it's there, and if you're working on this budget, Bob, whether it's you or Colleen or Tom or whoever the council person is, you should understand what's here
There is
and
something in
why.
parentheses, I see that in C.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought it was.
I was concentrating on
I understand that, but it's in the budget. So I was, just wanted to make sure. There is a reference to a resolution or an ordinance, seeing as how we're only going to have the fiscal responsibility. I have a question where it says what we put aside for the reserve fund. Must be the fund balance, fiscal expenditure, previous year's fiscal expenditures. Is that what has actually been spent for the year? So if we spend $13 million, we're going to put $1.3 million. What are we going to put aside? If we got $1.3 million surplus, is it on the surplus or is it on what the total expenditures were? So if we got $17 million for expenditures, is that 1.7 we put aside, or is it on what the actual surplus is? Because the way it's read, it reads previous fiscal year's expenditures. So I'm reading fiscal year's expenditures is what's been spent, the expenses that have been spent for the previous year. So if it's $17 million you're going to spend, that means $1.7 million, that's 10%, goes into that account.
So you want to put that one down so someone can clarify for me, Councilman President? So I can understand it? Because I don't think anyone else here understands it either. Maybe you do.
Say, you play with the speaking down.
I'm not speaking down to anybody. I haven't gotten any answers, and I apologize. And I want to say you have been very good at speaking up and asking questions. And we had a little confrontation at the beginning, but I respect that. I respect Colleen for answering. And I respect Tom. Tom, I get the answers anyway because he don't hold back. But from the rest of the council, I haven't heard many people speak up about this budget. There should be some discussion about it. I mean, that's what the council's supposed to do, discuss it, you know, and come up with some solutions. Then I'm not going to agree with everything, but, I mean, I look at this and I'm like, if we're looking at $2 million in surplus this year, we have a real problem. You guys really aren't doing your job. I'm telling you that. So, like I said, I'm here, I'm speaking, because I will speak, I'm going to speak up. But personally, I'm speaking on deaf ears. That's how I feel. And that's how I felt all along. And I object to the way these open meetings have been held. I don't truly believe in this whole handled the right way, whereby we've had a chance to really talk on each one of the ordinances as they come up. You know the process we've had in place for years, Bob. And this is not the process. You've been pushing this through, and the transparency in this city government is not there. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
I'll give them an answer.
Now, hold the microphone. Hold it better way.
Al Romano is on the field for Central Street.
Yeah.
And again, Kevin spoke about one other thing that was brought up.
Closer.
The ordinance, okay, is part of the package of rules that, well, I'm just putting it out there. So the numbers there, the ordinance, and that's the question. That's something that I well, needs every ordinance gets. It's just a that's as far as I'm concerned. The other things I wanted to talk about as far as the budget, obviously, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I do, but the most important stuff is my perspective is not necessarily this issue, but also forward. A lot of this stuff, S&T, several extensive stuff. Look at it, okay. I decided to talk to the S&T stuff. It's an easier one to look at. Both of them give you a pop. Both of them give you a pop. What scares me about the S&P is the words could, may, and particular. Okay, all right? Look at it this way, literally the first page. Anytime I ever saw an analysis or anything like this, audits, the words could, may, okay? It says there's something that's missing information, so there's those problems. What they're basically saying is, okay, right, that S&P basically it is the bankruptcy plan, okay, that was in place over the last 5 years, that created all the surpluses, that created everything else. But everything they base their backs on, credit strength in Moody's, adherence to the bankruptcy recovery plan resulting in a trend of positive financial performance. That's one of the chief reasons for their ranking. Okay? That's going away. I believe you'll find in S&P, okay, when they start talking about some of their rankings or some of their comments, their positive comments are based on a continuous of that. Plus one of the additional policies that you put, that policy. Okay, so the things that bother me, right, is, again, we're talking about everybody in the city, okay, has been bombarded by, from my perspective, by the fact that we're sitting under bankruptcy and it was something bad, okay? The fact of the matter is, look over the past 5 years, it turns into something good, okay, period, okay? It needed to be disciplined. So we got all of the people that were involved in, whatever, okay? I don't care if you go back, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have to go back to administration, because that's the one that really took the money. But the fact of the matter is, that's fixed, right? And there is a plan in the city. I just have an issue with all of the spending. Right? Let me go through one thing. I'm going to go through and try to state the stuff that I really need to comment on. The first one is there's a contingent liability profile. Our contingent liability profile is very weak, and there's other things that are involved in that, which is the OPE, which is the pensions. Okay, we're actually trying to, rightfully so. Okay, the people in this city, okay, got screwed in terms of, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sorry for the language, right? Simply because they were put in the bag with the golden parachutes and everybody else. When most of those pensions were 30,000, 24,000 a year, they weren't golden parachutes. So we need to do something about that, and I support that. And I also compliment Rep. McLaughlin for working this. Okay? But the issue is, that's one of the things that they warn about in this S&P and in movies, as a matter of fact. They warn about the fact that we're putting that debt back in the process as we do that. So we need to do something, okay, to ensure that we take care of that additional when we're going forward. And we should start now. Right? And I don't know if I'll talk to Representative McLaughlin after the fact, because I have some ideas. So it's not just getting the pensions back, it's also, as a council, we need to find out where the hell that money's coming from. It's that simple. And I support it. Right? By the way, they say something, so everybody needs to understand. In the first page of the S&Ps, there's one sentence that sits by itself all alone that says, the city's full faith and credit is pledged to the bonds. Understand what that means, okay? And I'm sure most of you do, right? But there's no out once you incur that debt, okay? That's the city's full faith and credit. That means I pay for it, all of you pay for it, okay? Everybody that lives in the city pays for it. And there's no getting out of it. Okay? So that's why this stuff is important. That's why the budget is important. The other thing you'll find throughout is they talk about our weak economy, and it is weak. Right? Despite what you may hear from some sources, especially the economy in the city. And this is where I wanted to talk about some ordinances, that basically I read, right? And I'm not going to comment on each one of them. But anytime you write an ordinance that affects business, and by the way, everything affects business. Everything, if you're in a company, I sat on one board that looked for expansion places. One of them was Rhode Island. There must be some falls in Rhode Island. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, what you're doing, anytime you create something at the local level, I'll give you a perfect example. Okay? The PDA, state PDA, I don't know if it was 2 years ago now, we passed the local PDA. Right? when, and if you're looking for a business, the last thing they want to be able to do, it's simple, okay? You've got a PDA, everything's done there, okay, at the state level. But my cut was, you needed basically, okay, to make sure that any business in here, the employees knew about the state PDA. Instead, you got another ordinance at the local level. Okay? If the state level's inadequate, okay, that's another story. But if it is adequate, we don't need local laws. Fewer laws, the better, okay, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not saying they aren't needed in some instances. Okay, adequate policies, this is another one. The management, so everybody understands something, okay? Whenever you read one of these one of these words, an audit, okay, or a document like this, you see adequate, okay? It's actually, you're in a little trouble. They view the city's management as adequate with standard financial policy practices under our FMA methodology, indicating the finance department maintains adequate policies in some, but not all, key areas. Okay? So right now, you know, if you've read this, somebody should be asking what are the key areas that we want. Right? That's what we want to do. It's not a matter of going after anybody or doing anything else. But everybody should know where are we weak so we can strengthen. That's all. Period. The other thing again, I mentioned before, something that was called the yoke. I'll get to the bottom of this. The city will adhere to the plan once the bankruptcy plan ends at the end of fiscal 2017. By the way, this budget is it, right? Good. So that's what they're basing. That's what they're basing their ratings on. So if we don't adhere to something as stiff as that, and hopefully we do, right? That ratings jump if they put that consideration into the analysis. Okay, the other part of this, I could go on and stuff. The other part of this that concerns me, okay, coming out of the manufacturing background, business background, is any time that we don't look at, okay, how we take care of our existing businesses. This is priority versus somebody else coming in. I've seen it happen at the state level, right? I don't want it to happen here. I think somebody else mentioned the fact that we got to be doing something wrong to take a look at, you know, how long the business is here. The type of business and whatever. We've got Osprey. Okay, and by the way, I am not criticizing anybody in the planning department. Peter knows me very well. Okay? Right? It's a matter of where the priorities lie. We've got Osprey sitting here. We've got a whole bunch of other things sitting there. And I look at the budget, right, and I see planning, right, a budget item that says planning, 500 grand, right? I thought that was going to be in the RDA. And that's where the work happens. And it's a capital. Yes, I thought that's where the work happens. Don't know what the structure is, so I can't comment any further on that. I just think the RDA needs that capital if they're going to be successful. There are others that basically, if people read them, okay, especially larger companies, if people read them, okay, there are other things in some of these other laws, okay, or pending laws, okay, that they were looking at. Okay. Those are the things that you need to do if you're going to create ordinance. You should look at the business. It should affect all businesses. Right? It should apply to all businesses, not just some. Okay? It should be enforceable. That's basic for any good person. The other one in this, if you haven't read it, at the bottom, page 5 in S&P, they bring up the OPEB liabilities again. And we need to put somebody that manages that, so if we go after the pensions like we should, okay, we also have to look at the revenue, where we're gonna get the revenue.
Now, do you pretty much said?
Yeah, that's it. And,
Thank you for your time.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
there's one other thing I think that I'll yell.
Thank you.
Representative Coughlin?
Greetings from the General Assembly. I'm here tonight to offer a little bit of help with the town council in reference to, I have the articles in front of me that were presented to finance. Okay. I don't know whether you people have reviewed them, you can look at them online, but we'd like to set up a workshop, in reference to the article. The good news is, Central Falls, Speaker set forth the order of vacant tax, and Central Falls looks like it's going to be in pretty good shape there. How much? Their passage, assumed this week now, it's still pending. Other things I'd like to mention that probably have been mentioned, there are bills in the General Assembly right now in reference to the OPEB. I don't know whether you council members are aware of this, you should set forth in reference to the police and fire and retirees going into the nurse system. Has anybody mentioned that to you? Are you aware of that? What is going on? I will get you copies of the bill, but I would like to set up a workshop with you if you have any questions. And also, in reference to the state, I had a meeting with Susan Gretchen in the Division of Taxation, okay, in reference to our Central Falls retirees. We're currently working on trying to actually get them up to 100%. It's going to take an effort. I spoke with various chairs on the different committees. These are people in majority positions, at the State House, and they're all for it, helping the Central Falls retirees out. So, with that said, I would like, at this time, this is the third time I've requested a workshop, okay, to Councilman Rosea.
I also.
In reference to, let's talk about the Central Falls retirees. Let's talk about, okay, where Central Falls is going, okay. In reference to Susan Gretschner, the taxpayers of Central Falls have been burdened with a 4% tax rate for the last, since 5 years. We need to watch, and I was told by the Division of Taxes, we need to watch the monies involved in Central Falls. So I think it would be very beneficial, and if you council members would like to get together, I'll bring Susan down here, and I think she was part of Rosemary's original team when they did the bankruptcy, okay? And she's well aware of circumstances, in Central Falls, okay? Where we're going from here as far as Central Falls, what we can do, what we can't do. I don't know whether this has been offered to you, but I'd like to reach out to this council. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? All right.
You're doing great.
With that said, so there are some positive things. The auto excise tax, many of the articles, it's been a tight budget this year for the speaker, is to be commended. All right. Working with a $9 billion budget. Okay. And with that said, I look forward to you people coming up with a date for a tentative workshop, which I'd like to include the rest of the representatives and our senator. Too often, one hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing. And like I mentioned to you, you people are aware of the legislation that's before the state? I'm here tonight to, we have legislation on the retirees, on basically the OPEB for Central Falls going into the MERS system. I'd like to get a consensus from you people. I'd like to know what you think of it. Please, that won't be a problem. I'll address it to our town council president. I hope you'll be able to issue copies to every one of the council members. Also, the updates on what's been voted on. This week it's going to be crazy. It's crazy week, State House. With that, I'd like to thank you. Do you have any questions?
James, just give whatever information you have to the city clerk if you have a handout. And maybe Mr. Lazier can set up a meeting with you to do the workshop. And you can report back.
Council President, with all due respect, if the council would like to break it down to 2 different workshops, I'd like to set up one with Susan Gretchen from the Division of Taxation. They implemented the original plan for Central Falls, and I think it would be to your best interest to get an update on where Central Falls is going, what you can expect to spend, with revenue taken in. I know this is budget time. You know what I'm saying? Councilman Lozay.
If you can, since the budget is coming to fruition in the next couple of days, we have estimates in the budget of what we possibly will be receiving. When you get a finalized estimate or a finalized appropriation of what the city and all the different revenue that we will be receiving, could you send it to us as the council also, besides city? Because, as I said, these are non-finalized figures, and the finalized figures possibly will be different.
I will ascertain that for every member of the town council. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Then we're going to
Yes, sorry. If anybody would like copies of the articles, I have it here.
Good evening, Council President, Council members. My name is Leonard Morganis. I'm the Administration and Finance Officer for the City of Central Falls. I have a couple of things to talk about. Number one, we're going to hand out a new certification letter for the budget. The letter in the budget package proposal is the first budget proposal. So now that the budget's lower, I created a new memo certifying the budget as fiscal officer for the city, reaffirming that the revenues and expenses match what the administration programs, what they're doing in FY18, what they want to do. And the FY18 budget monetizes and covers it. I don't want to go point counterpoint to everything that was talked about. Number one, I don't have 100% of the answers to verify some things, but I do want to touch upon a few of them. Number one, the state puts out a report every year. It's on the state's website. I will make it available to the public and to the city council. Per person, we are the lowest city in the state of Rhode Island. Per person taxes, $700 a person. The other cities are 11 or 1,200 per person. I know there was conversations about the format. We've been following this format. The ordinances look exactly the same since FY12 when the state developed this. Whether that was before or after, I don't know, but since I've been here, the budget format and the meetings, the amount of meetings are totally up to the council, but the format follows public law, and the format of the forms, the paperwork, whether it has 5 years, 1 year, it's exactly the same every year. In fact, I have a budget from the 90s ad that shows only 2 years. It does not show 5 years, it shows 2 years. It shows a 5% tax increase, by the way. This council has asked lots of questions, most since I've been here, which is great. Listen, contrary to some opinions, as the independent officer, we have been as transparent as we can in the time frame. We answered 30 to 70 questions written in the past 2 weeks. We provided documentation for all of those. If there are more questions, send them. Again, the format's been the same. The car tax, so a comment came up. One thing I learned from the past few years is I don't make adjustments to process until bills are approved. There's a lot of bills that go through that process. We have a game plan if the bill is approved. Right now, we're moving forward with the tax bills with the stated numbers. We're not going to send them out until the year. It should be about the same time anyway, time frame in terms of the council approving the city budget and the state approving theirs. So we will make adjustments to the tax bill if the bill passes. We will do so according to the law of the bill. State appropriations, council member brought that up. That is accurate. We get a report from the state of what the appropriations are going to be for the following fiscal year. We input that in. You'll get an update after the state approves their budget if there's any changes. That's been the process. Those are public documents. I can certainly make those available to any and everyone. Those go on the state website, and then when we're notified if there are changes, we input them in the budget. So I just wanted to make those comments. I'm going to hand out the new letter just for the budget. Thank you for the time for commenting.
Thank you very much, Smith. Appreciate it. I'm going to take a quick break. Public hearing is closed. Do you want to pass that out, James? You certainly can. Okay, thank you.
The only comment I would make, one percent the state has on the website, and the interest of more transparency, it should be put forth each and every year so that everybody will have this kind of thing. And with that said, I would propose to sign this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public hearing closed. I'm going to take a 5-minute
process?
Mr. Chairman, I object. I have an amendment that I proposed, that I asked to be recognized. Prior to your even mentioning this, I told you I have further amendments, Mr. Chairman.
Being ready.
I'll have more than three.
Just allow.
I'll have more than three,
Started a roll
Mr.
call.
Chairman. You want me to list the amendments first and then go through, or do them individually? Okay. Professional services, Mr. Chairman, legal department. Propose to reduce that to 30,000, Mr. Chairman. And make that in the motion, Mr. Chairman. Secondly, salary account in the mayor's office. I wish to reduce that by 5,000. And make that in the motion, Mr. Chairman. Other professional services in the city clerk's account, I wish to reduce that by 5,000, Mr. Chairman. I make that in the motion. Board of Canvassers elections, it was reduced. I move to reduce that to 3,000, Mr. Chairman. I make that in the form of a motion. Personnel, other professional services, Mr. Chairman, I move to reduce that by 5,000. Finance Department, Mr. Chairman. Since we do not have a finance director, we're budgeting a full salary. I'm not sure how long it's going to take the mayor to fill that position, but I would recommend that we reduce that position's salary since there is no one to be hired at this time. With the fringe benefits and the salary, I make a motion to reduce that by 15,000. City property, Mr. Chairman. IT consultant, Mr. Chairman. I move to reduce that by $3,000, Mr. Chairman. I make that a motion. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Chairman. I wish to reduce the grant writer by $5,000, Mr. Chairman. I make that in form of a motion. Youth Fellowship, Mr. Chairman. I wish to reduce that by 5,000, Mr. Chairman. Other supplies, I wish to reduce that by 1,000, Mr. Chairman. Public events and activities, I wish to reduce that by 4,000, Mr. Chairman. Make that in the form of a motion. Miscellaneous recreation. Can I ask, what is the budgeted amount that's changed here? What's the proposal?
It's miscellaneous and elderly services at $7,000.
Miscellaneous recreation?
Miscellaneous and elderly recreation is at, I believe, $7,000.
How much are you proposing? 7,000? I'll leave that alone, Mr. Chairman. After-school program. I asked that we reduce that by 10,000. Last year was budgeted 56,420. Planning Department, Mr. Chairman. The previous one, I make a motion to reduce that. Planning Department, Mr. Chairman. My understanding, there is someone being, what is it, temporary position, I believe. Mr. Chairman, trying to revert back to all the new changes and amendments, Mr. Chairman, so appreciate your indulgence. Police Department. Do we have an amount? What is the budgeted amount for police trainee wages? $8,000. I will leave that alone. Non-capital equipment, Mr. Chairman. I would move to reduce that by 3,000 because we have a capital improvement fund that can be utilized in its place. Other professional services. Last year was budgeted 93,000. We've only spent 67, 68. I make a motion to reduce that by 10,000, Mr. Chairman. Still in the police department. College tuitions, Mr. Chairman. Last year was budgeted 30,000. I'm not sure this, but they've only utilized less than 5. I asked that question of the police chief when he came. They didn't have an accurate figure. They didn't have that many people going to leave that amount for the taxpayers needing a tax decrease. I make a motion that we reduce that by 15,000, Mr. Chief. I make that motion. I'm sorry, what was that?
Currently 20,317, it was already reduced by 9,680.
Okay, I have that on. my updated copy, so I can change that. So that's been reduced to what amount?
20,317.
Okay, I reduce it, I'll make a motion to amend that to reduce it to 5,000, Mr. Chairman. We have the finance director, the exact figures that we can compare what has already been spent in these line items. So I am estimating these, and I would rather have the correct figures, Mr. Chairman. I'll move to judiciary. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, other supplies. Make a motion to reduce that by 5,000. Yes. Mr. Chairman, Office of Health. Contact for communities, that's not even included. So I would make a motion that we reduce that to a stipend of $5,000, Mr. Chairman. I'll make that on the motion. Highway Department. Road repair and maintenance, DPW code. As of, I believe, April, it was budgeted $220,000, Mr. Chairman. And the last counting that I had, it had $105,000 remaining. We requested during the review with the finance of the public works director of what was going to be done. If I can ask, is that the account that road repaving is taken out of? Chief of Staff? Is that the account? Road?
If the account that road repairs are deducted from is called road repair and maintenance.
Okay. Are we planning on utilizing it if they weren't being...
Are we planning on utilizing the funds that are in there? Yes. Yes.
Well, that's, wasn't planned on, it was just being done now. I requested from the Public Works Director a listing of all streets. They said there weren't any to be done. There weren't any in the pipeline. The last discussion we had, that's why I'm a little hesitant on that, Mr. Chairman. I will leave that alone for now because I want to see streets paved. under city debt service. I move to reduce that by 1,000, Mr. Chairman. Make that a form of motion. Under other city government, Mr. Chairman, these are estimates of things that may look for. Compensated absences are estimates of people retiring and looking to get paid their time that they have coming. Speaking to the police and fire and other unions, there was a very limited, possibly one or two, that were possibly retiring. The entire amount in that line item, I think, will be in excess. So I would recommend that we reduce that by 10,000 and make that a form of motion, Mr. Chairman. Unemployment compensation. We've spent, as far as I understand, from till April, less than 2,000 out of that $13,000 line item. I move that we reduce that by $6,000, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we have an account here, OPDB. Is that still to be spent before the end of the year? That's $100,000, Mr. Chairman. I ask that as a question. So it's a payment at the end of the year? So it goes in, it hasn't been expended. Okay, that's fine. Mr. Chairman, we have a reserve, which I already made a motion before, to eliminate that capital reserve from 70,529 to 20,529, $50,000 reduction, Mr. Chairman. As we already have a emergency account of 146,000. I would ask the same question of the solicitor, that the police retirement and the fire retirements of 92,000 has not been expended as of my last report. Is that to be paid at the end of this fiscal? I will leave those alone. And the John Hancock is decreasing every year. The projection on that payment, is that close to what is budgeted?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
If you look at, yes, everything is budgeted to what's being projected.
And then I would go to the these are in tandem. You probably make my amendments to the salary.
No, we're still on item A, the operating budget on the general fund.
Can I ask for a total on my amendments as of now?
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
These items, line items, and they are, is your amendment to the increase tax, correct?
Yeah, I'm asking for a tally on what that total comes to. We can take a recess. I think everybody should understand how much we have discussed. Mr. Chairman, I move for a recess. I wish to give her time to.
I'm sorry, sir, but I was not taking notes at that level. I depend on my reading after the meeting for the minutes. So had I known that you expected me to do the math for you, sir, I would have done that in advance. I thought you knew what number you were proposing before you made your proposal, so I'm sorry I did not have those.
That was the
I have the language of the ordinances, I do not have all the amounts, and I do not feel comfortable making that calculation, Mr. President, if that is going to be what is going to be considered as an amendment to this budget. I believe that was Councilman's.
I was under the same impression that you knew you were heading, that prior to the meeting, had an idea that this would reduce the tax to zero. Therefore, I'm asking that your amendment be collectively of the items that you said, and I'm actually looking for a second for such a bill.
Mr. Chairman,
There's no second.
Mr. Chairman, I asked that the amendment be read back. My proposal amendment, I would.
I know we have the line items, we have the title, we don't have it down.
Mr. Chairman, I would have hoped my amendments, when I presented them to the clerk, that she was keeping detailed notes of what those amendments are and to tabulate those. So if she has my amendments, then please, I ask to read back, then I can go through and then we can tally what those amendments total.
I have the same thing she has, we just have, we have the line items, not the dollar amount.
The line items, I made a motion to reduce by a certain amount, Mr. Chairman.
Would like to get the opinion of the solicitor.
Mr. President, you can entertain the motion by Councilman Lozada to collectively make spending cuts as the outline, various line items in the operating fund ordinance.
That's what I just asked.
You want me to go through it again, Mr. Chairman?
Please. How important is it? You have no, Mr. Lazar, I hate to say this, apparently you have no idea that you may have gone further than you want.
That's why I asked for the clerk to keep the tally. I made a motion for each line item, and I asked for what the total was at this point, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
My impression that when I came into this meeting is that I was going to propose that we would eliminate the tax increase.
Correct.
I was told when I came into this meeting that I needed approximately $75,000, so I was prepared to cut to 75. I was informed while coming into the meeting that it's not 75, as I was told, it's 180. So I prepared and I began the process of making a motion for the various line items of various amounts to reduce the tax increase to a zero tax increase. And I would have hoped that the clerk, and I request a recess until the clerk can tally what those
Well,
were.
here's the concern, Mr. Mayor. Apparently, you're shooting from it. You don't know how important these items may or may not be for that particular department. And we went over this. I told you that the department heads are more important than we are. We're part-timers. They live by this budget every day of the week. And right now, you're just cutting their legs out from under them, just picking out items, women, in numbers.
I'm cutting
This is not fair to the residents of the city of Central Falls, Mr. Lazier, or the department head.
I've asked that we
You're
go through
pulling
the
items,
budget.
you're pulling items out of the air, Mr. Lazier.
No, I'm not pulling them out of
Sure you
here.
are.
I reviewed these items, and these items, I feel, are in excess of what is necessary. Now, we could review those and discuss other, that's what I've been trying to do, Mr. Chairman. I was under the impression that we needed to cut 75,000 at least. I've been told tonight that it's not 75, it's 180. So I'm attempting on my own to cut 180,000, and that's why I've been going through the budget. We've had 3 to 4 different copies of this budget presented to us, Mr. Chairman, and we're trying to keep a tally. We do not have a final figure of what the actual expenses are up to date, Mr. Chairman. So I'm just estimating because we haven't been provided an up-to-date accounting of what our finances are, of what we spent, of what we have in surplus, of what we have left over in each line item.
But, Mr. Lizzie, you're cutting the legs off the department head.
No,
I mean,
I'm
you're
not.
pulling stuff out of the air, other professional
I'm not pulling
services,
anything out of the air.
after-school programs. You're cutting programs
I'm reducing, Mr. Chairman.
that, it's a job of the department head to come up with a fair and
Our
honest
job as
budget.
a council to go through the budget. You can't answer what he's saying.
I missed some numbers, sorry.
I like what he's saying.
Councilman, Zay changed his mind several times, and so I just wrote what I believe was the title.
Could you
I
go
was
through
going-
what you said? Could you go through what you took down in minutes? I went through different various line items, and I made a motion to reduce by a certain amount. Can you list each of the line items and what that amendment was to reduce, Mr. Chairman? That's the simple minutes, Mr.
Are you prepared to tell me what I'm wrong?
I'm prepared to take down what you have in your records. What do you have in your records, so I can keep a tally?
Councilman Zeta, the motion to make the various spending cuts as you outlined is a collective motion. Are you asking the collective to outline each of the cuts that you made in your motion?
Yes. I detailed each of the line items and how much I was proposing to amend to reduce. I'm asking what those line items and what the reductions are in total, and collectively, so that we made total.
$5,000 from the executive account. By $5,000,
How much?
the mayor's salary. Professional services, like not the amount. Other professional services by $5,000. Board of canvassers to $3,000. Personnel, other professional services by $5,000. Finance director reduced by $15,000. City property by $3,000. Parks and Rec, $5,000. Youth fellowship, $5,000. Other supplies, $5,000. Public events, $5,000. After school programming, $10,000. Police training wages, did not get that one. Non-capital by $3,000. In the police department, better professional service in the police department by $10,000. College tuitions by $5,000. Other supplies by $5,000. Office of Health, $2,500. So I don't know what I don't know what the reduction was. We wanted it to go to $5,000. DPW remained the same. I did not get city debt services by $1,000. I did not get the rest of them. There were, you spoke about unemployment, I did not, you were speaking and I did not hear if there was an amount that you wanted to reduce the unemployment. And then what other city government, you mentioned vacations, I also was not able to catch from what you were saying, what the amount was. So you may have, you have those two on your,
Yes, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, in all due respect, as a former city clerk, certified city clerk, I would have hoped that an accurate accounting of the motion and amendments could be reflected, Mr. Chairman. My intent, as I said from the beginning, was to reduce and eliminate a tax increase. It seems I'm the only council member who wishes to do that. I have attempted, and I will continue to attempt, to reduce the expenses to meet a zero tax increase. And and I don't do this to be antagonistic, to be in opposition to the mayor or to anyone else in this government. I do this because there is too much money in this budget that we cannot look without trying to reduce 75 or 80, 180,000, Mr.
Let's go
Chairman.
back to your amendment. So we're looking for a second to your amendment. Are you happy with the figure? I it come in between 92,000 and 100, close to 100,000. So you just, are you done with that figure or are you looking for?
No, I would look to cut more, Mr. Chairman. If the change is 180,000, Mr. Chairman, then I would look to cut the budget even further. If you wish to be, I would have hoped that we had an accurate accounting, Mr. Chairman, not an estimation. But if that's the case, Mr. Chairman, then I would move that I continue and reduce the total expenses of the budget, Mr. Chairman.
Is that your second?
I would,
We're still looking for a second, Mr. Rivera.
I'm making a motion first.
Still looking for a second. I don't know if you got some support out there for a second. Go further.
Mr. Chairman, I understand I may not have any support in this council.
Here's the problem. The problem is the department heads. They did their work, they did their due diligence, and you're cutting their legs out, you're just throwing figures out there.
Chairman, I'm not throwing figures out, and I object to your opinion that I'm cutting the legs of this department, and all these departments have been left with sufficient funds to operate this budget. This budget itself, Mr. Chairman, in this current year, is proposed of a $2 million surplus. Last year was a $1.3 million. So to take this budget, to increase it by 1% or 1.2, we are still looking at a surplus budget, Mr. Chairman. So there are more than enough funds in this budget, besides what changes were made, to be a surplus budget, Mr. Chairman. So I'm not cutting the legs off anyone. I'm saving taxpayers a tax increase, and that can't be done by all the members of the Council.
Let me just finish the problem is there, you mentioned police department. Fire, did you mention all these departments? They're practically gonna have to start their process all over, do their budget all over.
The cuts that I made, Mr. Chairman, are very limited, and it doesn't affect
They're
their
not,
operation, Mr. Chairman.
they're not, again, we're looking for a second,
Operation.
we're looking for a second on your amendment. Is there a second?
I have other amendments, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I have other amendments, Mr. Chairman.
You don't know where you're at.
I do. I have other
Dollar
amendments.
amount.
I've given that to the clerk when I recorded those amendments, Mr. Chairman. I made a motion to amend by a certain amount. I was hoping with the expectation that the clerk was keeping a tally, an accurate tally of each account and how much was proposed in an amendment. Now, I have other further amendments. If the general estimate is 100,000, Mr. Chairman, I have further amendments to reduce the budget. If you wish me to proceed. Mr. Chairman, I ask for a recess so the clerk can review the records.
I will do what you asked me to do, Mr. President. That is that is your choice. That is what this body's gonna do. No, sir. There is a motion, and we're doing a second. If you'd like to go into recess and I can review the records, I will do that.
I'm not finished with my motion.
So would you like to finish your motion first?
You're not done that.
Recess, or we do recess first?
I've asked for the tally at this point, Mr. Chairman.
I've
That's what
given you
I've
a
asked.
challenge, sir, and I was very honest with what I have. If you'd like to review what you have, then we can review what you
Yeah, but
If you wish to
continue on.
review
That's
on
fine.
what the exact
President,
amount
would you like me to do?
is.
We'll give it to them. We can't do it. Stand recess. thank everyone for their patience. I want to thank Sonia for going the extra mile here. We do have a total.
$181,000.
What? $181,000.
No, but I usually, if I could, check with the amount, the starting amount of the Office of Health, because the fire department. So the 181 is not included.
Doesn't.
Awesome.
He opens a public hearing. I did make a motion to amend that also for the city.
$206,000.
Mr. Chairman,
Write your numbers.
206,000. That'll be good.
You write your number, Mr. Lizzie.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I have other areas. I wish to point out, Mr. Chairman, that in the proposal that the mayor submitted, and I've asked the mayor to come to the meeting,
We're still, not,
on the amendment, Mr. Chairman, as I've stated, on the emergency reserve fund is a proposal to establish, it's not a revenue, but it's a reserve of $146,895 besides the surplus set aside. Now, we could reduce, the mayor could reduce that amount, the mayor could reduce other amounts. At the last meeting, Mr. Chairman, I asked, as a courtesy to the mayor, to cut the budget to a point where there is a one tax, no tax.
You're still on your motion, looking for a second, we have hit the magic number of 180, in fact, we went over. Is there a second on Mr. Lazier's amendment? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Berry,
Yes.
Councilman Acosta,
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa, Councilman Fonseca, Councilman Lozada,
No.
Councilman Rivera, Councilman Solano,
Yes.
motion carried, Mr. President.
Thank you. Item B.
An ordinance to change the salaries of department heads and others in a classified service. Salary.
Entertain a motion. I have a motion by second by Councilman Costa. Other discussion? Hearing none,
Mr.
seeing.
Chairman,
Mr. Lazier,
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
you're not going through every item.
Mr. Chairman, I'm making a motion to amend. Just collectively, how would you like it?
How many do you have? Not going through the same.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make a motion to amend the ordinance, Mr. Chairman. On salaries of department heads and others of unclassified service, substitute A is what I have here, Mr. Chairman. One is the city council, the proposed increase, I make a motion to cut the proposed increase for fiscal year 2019. If we're going to make cuts, we should make cuts to ourselves also, Mr. Chairman. And that is, I believe it states in here a $5,880 proposed raise. That could be acted on next year, but I propose that we do not pass it this year. And make that in the form of motion. Also, Mr. Chairman, the finance director, Mr. Chairman, we have not hired one.
Can you just state the line item rather than a narrative, please?
I'm explaining what the motion is, Mr. Chairman. The finance director proposed to amend that by $10,000, Mr. Chairman. Because there is no finance director by the time it's hired. will take that. Next, Mr. Chairman. Something to be taken out of the budget. Assistant Director of Code Enforcement. I'm not sure what this reflects right now. Is this reflecting $3,000 raise? Yes.
No. Each one though, because it's better to be.
Mr. Chairman, I also wish to amend the motion that all increases be capped at what has been awarded to all union members, that they be capped and no greater than, I believe it's 2%, if it's 2.1 or 2.4, that all salary raises for all city employees be capped at the same as union employees. I'm not sure what that reflects, Mr. Chairman, and we have to be calculated. The after-school program coordinator, one part-time, 22,000. I would make that a part-time position, Mr. Chairman. I would reduce that to 20,000, Mr. Chairman. School is not open all year round, so I would make that a part-time amount.
It is a part-time.
And reduce it to 20,000. The Assistant Director of Planning has been increased from what is shown here. I would have we hired the assistant planner. That was a position that they were working on.
Seriously.
Has that been hired?
This was discussed during the budget workshop. Yes, he has been hired. He's been here approximately, actually over 6 months. This was discussed.
All right, I would reduce that to a 2% increase compared to all the others also. The community health coach, Mr. Chairman, that is in the school department. I would refer that back to the school department, Mr. Chairman. I would cut the $35,000 and refer back to the school department for a position, not as a city position. The grant writer, I would hope that that position would have been incorporated into the planning department. I know that the individual, and
Tom, could you just give a dollar figure, please, that you want to reduce it rather than a little narrative,
I would
please?
reduce that to a part-time stipend of $20,000, Mr. Chairman. The executive administrative assistant, very nice girl, but we just created this.
Dan, could you
Mr.
please
Chairman.
just give a dollar figure?
My comments, Mr. Chairman, are perspective that I am not referring to any individual, just the dollars of these
We understand
representatives.
that, we just concentrate on the dollar.
I'm reducing that to $35,000, Mr. Chairman. I make that a form of motion, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Hearing and seeing none, the motion dies. Roll call vote.
Councilman Perry?
Yes.
Councilman Costa?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa? Councilman Fonseca? Yes. Councilman Zed? Councilman Rivera? Yes. Councilman Sawano?
Yes.
Carries this motion.
Thank you.
Item C, an ordinance amending the wage schedule generally subbing. Second reading.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion by Councilman Zed to approve. Second by Councilman Costa. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Perry?
Yes.
Councilman Costa?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa? Councilman Fonseca? Councilman Lozada?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera? Councilman Solano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item D, the capital program and capital budget ordinance, second reading.
Thank you, pleasure.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to amend the capital program and capital budget ordinance.
We have a motion by Councilman.
I make a motion to amend by $180,000 in fiscal year 2018.
We have a motion by Councilman Rivera to amend. Is there a second? Hearing none, seeing none, motion dies.
To approve another capital program and capital budget
We have
ordinance.
a second motion by Councilman Costa, second by Councilman Solano to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Terry?
Yes.
Councilman Costa?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa? Councilman Fonseca? Councilman Lozada?
No.
Councilman Rivera? Councilman Solano?
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Item E, an ordinance creating the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2017.
We have a motion by Councilman Costa, second by Councilman Figueroa. To approve. Any discussion?
So I see here the new section 3 that we added, for section 2, 328, but I believe last week we also added that to section 2, 330, saying that, section E on 2 to 328, that we would get monthly accounting of the status of both the reserve fund and the capital.
True.
But it's not under, that's not, I don't see it here. I don't see it under 2 to 328.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I ask that we table this until we get a correct copy to review and act on.
We can make.
Yeah, I was gonna, city solicitor.
This council did amend the Fiscal Responsibility Act to show, to create section 2-330C, stating the finance director shall make a monthly accounting to the city council on the status of the fund. That is not in the ordinance before you, but that amendment was made and is reflected in the amended ordinance before you. And the council can vote on it if you're comfortable knowing that that amendment was made and contained in the agenda item.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to amend section 2-328, subsection A, by changing the word must to may. There is hereby created a reserve fund which must, is mandatory that we have to budget it if we are in a financially distressed situation. I would recommend that we change that from must, because then we would force tax increases when it may not be necessary, to the word may, maintain a minimum fund balance of 10% of the previous fiscal year's expenditures. That's a lot of money, Mr. Chairman. And I would rather have the council and the mayor and the administration with the flexibility to determine, not be forced into making that a requirement. So I move that that word be changed from must to may, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion by Mr. Levere to change that word from must to may. Is there a second? Hearing none, seeing none, motion dies.
Councilman Carey?
Yes.
Councilman Acosta?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa? Councilman Fonseca?
This is for and are we doing the
Councilman Mosaic?
No.
Councilman Rivera? Councilman Solano? Motion carries, Mr. President. Item 5 before you is resolution support of legislation H6279, sponsored by Councilman Maldonado, an act relating to taxation, levy, and assessment of local taxes.
Rivera and Councilwoman Fonseca and Councilman Solano. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Nays? Hearing none,
Item 6, resolution in support of the action of the second council.
That's for the 4th of July, right? Yeah, the meeting on every time, 1776 over there.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Councilman Carter. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, nays, ayes have it.
Yes, we want now.
Motion to adjourn at 9:50. Yeah, if you wish.
Yeah, you don't feel it out.
Just wait.
So Wednesday, Roger
Councilman Solano, please.
University will be coming to Coloris on Wednesday at 5:30 for an information session to speak to residents regarding an MOU that the city has with them, where the residents could receive a credit of up to $750 per course. That will be at 5:30 at Coloris.
Yeah, that was supposed to, that's who the Blackstone Valley Historic Society. We're doing a tour of James Park in the Tower and the Grotto, Thursday, the 29th of June. Everyone's invited. We generally have refreshments right in the umbrella, and we expect about 40 people. So, 6:30. Thank you.
July 6th, we have an alumni from the city with 19 who will be circulating salsa lessons at Engardo.
Oh,
Salsa lessons. Salsa lessons.
Al. Anyone else?
It's $10.
Have a motion, a drop.
It's $10 and the proceeds will be for him.
Oh, super.
He will be the instructor and the money will be strictly for him.
Just quick, Mujeres Positivas will have a walk at 8 a.m. on Sunday at Dickinson Park to raise awareness about cancer. Anybody can go, if you want to come by afterwards.
How far do you walk? Where they walk?
I think they walk around the trail. Okay,
No, they're walking.
not walking around the trail, but it does start at Higgins.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Thompson and Councilman Solano to adjourn. We stand adjourned at 9:16. Thank you for your patience.
Hey, Josh, you didn't actually think I took a swing at anybody, did you?
No.
You was just joking?